Today I will share with you this Internet User Survey 2016. But this survey was actually conducted in 2015, all the way until 2016. It was published end of last year, and the publication is now available on our website under Statistics sector. Okay. This is some infographic, a compressed one, which is similar to the one that you get. It's also in the registration table. If you haven't get it, you can actually have it, and it's also in the publication itself. Okay, this is some simple, brief knowledge about what is the content of this survey. Some introduction. The objective of this survey is to collect data for the compilation of descriptive statistics pertaining to access the internet by individuals inhabiting in Malaysia. So previously, this survey was household use of internet survey. Okay, but then since 2012, it has been changed to internet user alone. So previously, we look at the household diagram, yeah, but then now it is based on individual usage. So with this, we can know how many percentage of internet user in Malaysia as compared to household last time, right? So this is actually similar to a handphone user survey. And the scopes itself, we cover the patterns of information getting among users and non-users. So particularly in this survey, we cover non-users as well. So we do not always do non-user survey. We do it when necessary, let's say 2 years once or 3 years once, okay? Because non-users, the pattern will not change a lot. Mostly we will check on why they don't use the internet, and it is actually very rare nowadays why they don't use internet. Okay, and then the emergence of new types of online activities. We have a very long list, and it's getting longer because we can do a lot of things nowadays in the, using the internet. And the exhaustive use of social networking from frequency to societal issues, adoption of users to access public services via internet, public services, the government, yeah, and then the use and non-use of online financial management. Why people do not, although they use the internet, but they don't do any financial transaction using the internet. And the e-commerce experience from the perspective of consumers. Our target population is all inhabitants in Malaysia. We proceed with our handphone base. Okay, by DOS, the total penetration of handphone in Malaysia is 99.3%. That is almost every single individual in Malaysia also hold handphone. All right, and the sample population, the main users of handphone in 2015, at that point we have 143.8 subscription per 100 inhabitants. So a penetration of above 100%, and handphone ownership 97.5. The fieldwork began on 24th of October until 15 January, and the survey reached to a sample of 2402 internet users and 385 non-users. Okay. Moving on, about internet use and non-use. The number of internet users as of early last year, it was 77.6% among all inhabitants in Malaysia. That means 24.1 million of inhabitants in Malaysia are actually internet users. Okay, and among the non-users, 13.2% they used to use internet, but then they abandoned it already. So 86.8% of them never use the internet at all. So we can say that out of the 22.4%, how many? 20% of them actually never use the internet at all. Okay, and the television was the primary source among non-users. Right? So they get their information solely from watching the television, right? And also they get some information from people around them. Then they read the newspapers and any media, printed media available, and finally the radio, right? Among non-users, they actually own technology devices. They also have smartphone, they also have laptop, but they don't connect to the internet. We have people like that. I believe maybe your relative around you maybe will have pattern like that. Okay. So look at the, now we focus solely among users. the demographic and social economics of the users here. Right. Male users actually outnumber female users, and it has been the trend all along. Okay, but however, when we look into getting things done online, what they do online, women actually are more savvier. We look at the online experiences, how long the people actually use the internet. The experience of internet usage, men averagely longer. Average online hours, men also seems to be longer, 19.1. And the place of access, most men use the internet at work, while women at home. Right? But for online adoption, for online shopping, women have higher penetration, adoption rate, sorry. And for online banking, more women doing that online. Social networking, and information seeking. Actually, not much difference. But we can see all this number, the women suddenly win. Look at the age-wise, we can see there's this drop of tendency of using the internet when the age group grow higher, right? But however, this has shown some different signs since the year before. Where the year before, the average age mean of users was 31.1, but the average age, but the year last year, it was 32.4. Okay, that means the age mean actually increased already. That means there are more people with higher age using the internet. That's why the range will go higher, the mean will go higher. Okay, this is what it means. When we have people with higher age, they join in, they will take the average higher, right? Okay, so for non-user, it was 46.4, now it becomes 50.7. So this is a sign that age people are trying to adapt to this technology usage. And I believe it's thanks to the smartphone and user-friendliness of all this technology and gadgets, right? Next, we look at the time spent online and also the educational achievement. You could see here, the line graph here is actually the time spent online in a week. Okay, so averagely how many hours being spent online in a week. You can see for people with tertiary education, they spend 20.6 hours in a week. So almost 3 hours on a day, 7 days a week. Okay, but as compared to schoolgoers have slightly higher, 20.9. Okay, which is understandable. People who study, they use the internet, they have free time to use, and they have more studies to be conducted online and communicate online, right? But people with primary education, they only go online 15.6 hours in a week. So this actually shows that education attainment become an indicator for online tendency. So people who tend to have higher education attainment, it shows that they actually go online in a longer hour. Alright, the survey tells so. I didn't create this, Okay. So these are the breakdown of the educational attainment. Any questions so far? You can actually stop me if you have any question. The graph is a bit high-tech. I include a lot of information in one graph. So please don't feel shy to ask questions. None. No education at all. This is the highest attained education level. So we have 1% of the users who actually have never gone to any school, never studied anything before. So secondary is definitely higher, but the tertiary education percentage is actually catching up already. That means diploma and above. We cover every age. For those below 15-year-old, we do ask consent from the parents. We understand there might be some terms being used in the survey that might be sensitive. So we get the consent from the parents first, yeah, before we proceed with them, so they can say no if they feel uncomfortable.
So the nuns can actually be babies?
No, can be adult without any background education. Children, we don't get that many children in our survey actually. So, yeah, we never survey any baby before. But we had the youngest. Sorry?
We don't have an age cutoff.
No, we don't. Last time, we never even asked for consent, but lately we start to ask for consent. But in many international studies, they have a cut down of 15 years and above. But then, seems like Malaysian are acceptable for our survey, so we never stop them. Okay, let's move on. Alright, about the income of the internet users and non-user, cost of connection become less significant. When we ask the non-users whether what is the factor for not using the internet, okay, in 2013 we see 19.1% say that the cost of connection is expensive. It's very high to go. Maybe the devices or even the internet connection fees might be high. But coming to 2015, only 11% say that the cost of connection is expensive. So we can conclude that maybe the charges of online fees is getting lower, and the gadgets are getting cheaper, right? So it's becoming less significant already. Instead, now we would ask how many gadgets do you have. Now looking at the trend of how people own the devices, you can see people with higher income range, they tend to have more devices. They don't just hold one device. 15.3% only have one device, whereas 84.7% have more than one. How many of you have more than one device? 3. The rest? Come, a show of hands. How many of you?
How do you define device?
Handphone, smartphone, laptop, smart TV. Devices that you can get connected to the internet, tablet, right? So another show of hands, how many of you have more than one device? Then barulah kerja kat MCMC, yeah. Don't worry, I'm not asking who fall under this category. I'm not asking this.
Did you measure how many devices?
Yeah, we do in the later stage that is under trend. But looking at the demographic, this is the income part. Yeah. So we can see the trend here where people own actually more than one devices, they earn more than 5,000. Now even for dependents are people who have no income, no recurrent income, so they can be like housewife, students, so they have very good dependable people in their life. That they can have more devices, yeah, to get connected. So fellow parents, thanks for all the hard work. Now, come to the trend, sorry. This part is about trend. Previously was about the demographic, which we actually track every year. For the trend, we do not track every year. It may totally discarded when the trend is no longer relevant. Yeah. And some trend might be starting only after some input from the industry or from internal MCMC. Now, first we look at the technology devices. So these are the list of all technology devices being included: smartphone, netbook, feature phone, PC, desktop, tablet, smart TV, console, game console, and also TV streaming box. Now, the line graph means the user access device. They use the device to connect to the internet, whereas the bar graph is the ownership. So we have 90.7 say they own smartphone, but only 89.3% use it to connect to the internet. So even though they use the internet, they own smartphone, they don't use it to go to to connect to the internet. Similarly, look at netbook. We have 59.2% who have netbook, laptop, but they don't connect to the internet. Now, I wonder what they do with the laptop. Can we live without internet and just use the laptop alone? Okay, but then 46% of them actually use the internet using that laptop. And feature phone, not surprisingly, this is normal. 58.7% have feature phone. Maybe the feature phone is not that user-friendly to connect to the internet. Yeah, so only 15.8% use it for internet access. And we have PC desktop, tablet. In those days, PC desktop was the highest, was always the highest for many years. Yeah, but once smartphone come in 2014, smartphone was still below desktop. Starting 2015, smartphone already go ahead of desktop. Now we can look at the new devices emerging, the smart TV and also the TV streaming box. 25.7% of the internet user go for smart TV, but not all of them connect to the internet. Only 5.1%. So it actually shows that either the smart TV is not that user friendly yet, or people are buying simply because it is a smart TV. And 4.2% actually, instead of going for a smart TV, they went for TV streaming box, the Android box, Chromecast. They put on the TV and then they connect to the internet. Okay, look at the things that people do online. We have this list for the respondent to choose. For information, previously the list was short. Years after years, it gets longer and longer. And you can imagine how the respondent actually respond to all this. Do you use it for communication by text? Yes. Do you use it for getting information? Yes. So it is really very long. This is actually a very lengthy survey. Now, something surprising is that communication by text actually emerged the trend of getting information. For many years, getting information was the primary reason people go online. But it's no longer so. Getting information or not, they want to talk. So communication by text becomes the top now, right? Then followed by visit social networking sites. Surprisingly, it is not overtaking yet, social networking sites. Streaming video, study, listen to music, government services at a 59%. This is an increase from the year before. Download music. Those that are highlighted in red will be studied further in our next few slides. Okay, we actually ask further about their usage and why they don't use. Right, so we have chosen two from the top, mostly done activity, and then the government activities, and also internet banking and shopping reservation. Okay, we actually relatively these two are quite low as compared to the rest. But we also have to understand that not every single person do internet banking. Not every person have to pay something. Yeah, we have a paymaster in the family maybe, right? So it is actually alright to be low if compared to other activities online as compared to social networking, right? And this is another information. On average, users spend 18.8 hours online in a week. So as compared to the previous figure, 20% was by the educational attainment. But on average, every single person is 18.8%. Okay, so in terms of getting information, we ask further what kind of information do they get, and yeah, we did a comparison among user and non-user. So users actually prefer to refer to more. Where's the cursor? Here. Okay. Users actually prefer to have more information sources as compared to non-user. This color here, the darker it is, that means the more information sources they go to, right? So you see the lighter color among non-users, that means they actually refer to only one or two sources for information verification. Now, what type of information source that internet user go to? We have instant messaging, search engine, social media, online video, news, and also forum. Okay, only 0.8% go to others. Right? So we can see that internet users tend to verify the information from various sources before they really take in the information. As we can see, people who do not use the internet, they tend to go for only one. It's probably the TV that they watch. In terms of social networking, we can see Facebook was the champion. The darker color means there's no account. Alright, the lighter color is how often they access these social network sites. For Facebook, more than 50% actually go for daily access. Alright, and surprisingly, the next highest one is WeChat Moment. Anyone use WeChat Moment? Yeah, simply because schoolgoers like to use WeChat Moment. Unfortunately, you're not. Maybe you can go back and ask the children, is that the true situation on the ground? But that is what we found through our survey. And also we went to PIM to do some studies. They really use WeChat to connect to other people, because it seems like WeChat have these tools to reach out to strangers. Yeah, young people like that. Then followed by Instagram, no words, just picture. YouTube, Google+, Twitter, and it goes on. Right? We have Tumblr still there, but very little. Now, how long do they spend going on the social networking sites? You can see mostly go for 1 hour or lesser. No, 1 to 4 hours. Yeah. But we also have people who access the social networking more than 12 hours in a day. Yeah. So.
I have a question. When you say access, does it mean that if you have your, for example, WhatsApp turned on 24/7, that's for accessing?
They have to tap in and look into it and scroll.
Okay.
That is accessing.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what we meant. They might have misunderstanding, but yeah, we don't reserve on that. But we did during our training, we explained to them what are we looking for. We are looking for people who tap into it and then scroll around, do something.
Use it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And a new trend that we can see in the social networking sites is the using it as a platform to collect donation, crowdsourcing. Okay. Unfortunately, only 18.6% used to donate to such fundraising activity, most probably due to scared that it might be a scam or something like that. So it seems this platform may not be a very good place, but there are still people who go to this platform to search for fun. Now, on social networking also, we asked them what did they share on the social networking sites. Okay. Most of them share their personal photos. If it's not for personal photo, why are we having a social networking site now? We want to update people. Today I have a nice clothes, I have nice eyeliner maybe. Okay, and photos of others. Real name, only 59.4% reveal their real name. How many of you use a fake name on the internet? How would you know? Nobody using a fake name. Impossible. The survey showed 59.4%. Email addresses, relationship status, contact number, home location. Home location also involve those sharing of location. And then political views and so on. Now the communication point that we also asked them, who do you communicate with and how often do you communicate with them? So we found that most of them only communicate with close acquaintances, family, friends, co-workers, but almost 25% do not mind to talk to a stranger. They used to talk to a stranger, but they don't talk very oftenly. So most probably young people, they would like to attach to more new people in their life. Yeah? And also only half utilize privacy feature on social networking. That is setting up the privacy level of the account, delete people from the network or friends list, that means doing some housekeeping, post updates, comment, photos. Those are also above 50%, and very little remove the name from photos. That means they untag themselves. And there are 39.3% who used to delete comments that others have made on their profile. So we do have people who are skeptical over all this information of theirs, and these are the things that they do to safeguard themselves. Okay. Next, moving on to the public services, yeah, .government. Now people go on the .government website mainly for for job and also education opportunities. Right? Now we can see from this chart, bar chart here, green color means did not use the online platform to connect to the public services online. Okay, that means other online platform. That means those who are in blue, they go to the official website only. Those who are in green, they use other platform to connect to the government information. Right? Am I getting right? Sorry. Sorry. This chart here means they go to the official website. The other chart here is they do not go to the official website. Alright? Whereas blue color means they use other means to reach out to the government information, like the social media, instant messaging. Okay, so that means a total of 30.2% they actually do not connect to the government information at all through online. Okay, and we can see what do they do through the website to find information, through internet to find information about government. 70% look for job, I can see. 65.5% use it for education opportunity. The rest would be at the lower end, tax and duty, business registration. Although we have very good platform for LHDN to file our taxes, but only 30.4% are using it. But that also comes to how many people have to pay tax, right? How many people have to, actually everybody have to pay tax. But how many people will need to file it through the website? Not everybody is working. We have unemployed people and also dependents. Okay. And social media was the popular online source for government information. So instead of the official websites, the people who go for other means, they went for social networking sites, instant messaging, email, blogs, and also online video to find out about government information. Now, moving on to the financial activities online, mainly online banking. We can see from here, 36.2% is the current user of the internet banking. We have 23.1% use the internet banking for more than 5 years already. Alright, and we also have a quarter, it's almost a quarter each for their online internet banking experience. And among those who never use, 62.1%, we have 62.9% who say they actually prefer conventional banking method, going to the ATM. The next say about security issue. So surprisingly, security issue was not the main factor for not using the internet banking. People just like to line up. Okay, and what would actually encourage them to use the online banking more? They say 47% say higher security, 38.2% say a simpler and clearer portal feature, since there are still people who find that online banking is not user-friendly yet. It's very tedious maybe. And 35.5% feel that there need to be a free transaction. 10 cents is too much. Okay. Phone aid and rewards. Okay, so what do they do using the through online banking? Mostly carry out account inquiry, fund transfer, pay bill, top up prepaid phone, and get statements, pay loan. The rest will be at the lower end. And they do transaction of online banking through smartphone. 95.2% actually own a smartphone, but only 66.7% use it to do transaction. then laptop, and finally PC desktop. So tablet is not in the picture at all, and the other gadgets are not too. Finally, this is the last trend that we study. That is the e-shoppers, the online shopping trends among internet users. We could see why they, we asked them why they like to use online shopping. Almost 90% say because of the delivery convenience that they get through online shopping. Yeah. The next say they could get better price. About 80% of them feel that there's better price and also greater variety, time and location, and also they are able to get review from other people who use that platform before. Right? And what did they buy? Clothing, 23.9% use it for clothing, jewelry, accessories, travel arrangement, AirAsia and all, Airbnb and all, and finally top up prepaid phone. These are the 3 top activities they use for online shopping. And the payment method that they use is bank transfer mostly, cash on delivery, e-banking, ask help from somebody else, PayPal, credit card, Alipay. And I believe in the time to come, Alipay might become more famous. Yeah. Finally, we asked about smart home and and multiple devices. So we tend to compare how people nowadays use multiple devices at multiple access points, all thanks to the convenience of Wi-Fi and internet on the go availability. So since 2013, 55.9% using smartphone to access the internet. We can see this trend is increasing because of the convenience that smartphone give to have internet on the go. And 87.3% of mobile broadband users in our ground, and 59.6% use free Wi-Fi whenever it is available. And the type of access, remix landline mobile broadband, we have 75.5%, that means more than 3/4 are actually having more than one access point. They do not just online at home, they online using at other several available methods. Okay, and for cloud storage, unfortunately only 12.9% are using the cloud storage to manage their information on the go. Alright, and what kind of information do they share there? Do they keep there? Personal information, phone contact, photo, work-related documents, videos, and others. Mostly are for photos usage. And the last one about smartphone, smart home. Only 45.4% wanted a smart home in their for themselves. Yeah? But the rest do not think it is necessary to have everything ready for them in a smart environment. Right. So in conclusion, Malaysian internet users are driven by socialism. Yeah, they like to socialize through the internet. So they like to have text messages instead of just for official usage. And social platforms were the primary sources of information. And virtual monetary transactions turn out to be the dark horses because people do not like, lesser people use the internet for financial transaction. And it is acknowledged that ICT will direct the future of human lifestyle. The quest for more sophisticated technology has been expanded, and we see people like to have more gadgets around on the go. Okay, that's all. Any question?
Yang tu bahasa salah. Yang tu bukan socialism dulu. Socialism is an ideology.
Oh, is it?
You can kata this is for social purposes. Before this goes up, we are
Okay, okay. Thanks. All right, that's all. Thank you.